All right, welcome to Bearcats Daily. It's Friday. Wear red Friday. Remember, everyone deployed. Thank you to our men and women serving in the armed forces right now. So this show, as I was getting ready to shoot today, we had a little bit of breaking news coming in for the University of Cincinnati. So it's going to be a little bit back and forth of what we have here in terms of usually I follow my setup pretty well, but we're going to be talking basketball right away. There was a huge announcement today coming in right here in the city, actually. I'm just going to read this out. So Calhoun originally, Jerry Calhoun, when he came in, said he wanted to win the in-state recruiting battle that goes on with Ohio State and some of the other schools, and that is important. You do have to recruit well in your home state, especially with bigger schools like Ohio State, who typically dominates that. Well, at 2 o'clock today, Ham Mercer, who is right here in Cincinnati, I believe he goes to Princeton High School. Um, he has committed to the University of Cincinnati. He is a 6'5" guard. He's ranked 15 overall, top 15 overall in the United States. And also with this, he's the number one player in Ohio, currently in the rankings. Not only that, he did reclassify to class of 2027. So he won't be on the team this year, but that'll be the next season. Calhoun's already recruiting hard for 2027. I love seeing it. And like I said, we've already got kind of, you can read below here. They've already sent out a couple offers as well around to other players and stuff like that. So Calhoun's been hitting the recruiting board hard, and not just in the transfer portal either. He is attempting to get these guys in the building as quick as possible. Now, there were a couple other offers sent out. We'll go in. We'll get more details as they come out. But the kid's in terms of Mercer, the kid's a stud right here in the city. During his presser today, after he announced it, he said, and I quote, "I'm trying to accomplish something big, and I'm not just doing it for myself. I'm doing it for the city as well." Now, I tell you what, the caliber, just in terms of noise, in terms of competitiveness that has now been brought to this program with a complete rebuild by Calhoun. Remember, not one player was left on the roster from Miller's era. Calhoun came in and they said a clean slate of just everything. There were no players, nobody in the building. He did bring some guys with him from Utah State, and they also hit the transfer portal, but he's out recruiting hard for the next season as well. His reps were Corey Markham and Trey Dees. He's reclassifying himself into the class of 2027 to come out and play. Really, really excited to have this. Kid's an absolute beast. They also have sent out recruits. They just had a four-star prospect come in and visit. Joshua Tyson, another Cincinnati native out of Lakota West High School, class of 2027 as well, ranked 68th overall nationally. So I tell you what, guys, if we can nail some of these recruits coming in that we have already had visits from, there is a very good chance you see UC compete for a Big 12 championship next year. That's where we're heading at this point. This gentleman, Joshua Tyson, absolute stud. He's 10th ranked among combo guards in the nation. He's got 12 other offers currently from schools like Arizona State, Ohio State, Penn State, Virginia Tech. Some big names that we're going to be going up against. But I tell you what, getting Mercer in the building, that's going to draw eyes back to the program. And a lot of these guys who are sitting there thinking, well, you know, who am I going to be playing with? Am I going to be competitive? Whatever the case may be. This is really going to help get guys in the building. They did host another gentleman here recently, four-star recruit, Peyton Jones. He is a point guard, 6'2", 185 pounds. He's out of Beaumont United, which is a school in Texas. Does have 22 offers currently along with UC. Auburn, Houston, Kansas State, and LSU are some of the big names there. And they did just have Isaiah Mack Russell, who spent 2 years at Toledo Central Catholic, where he averaged 18 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal per game. He transferred down to Winton Woods. So UC's recruiting hard, especially locally. And by locally, I mean Cincinnati. The kid, since he has been at Winton Woods, 23 points a game, 7 rebounds a game, 58% shooting, and 32% from the three-point line with a 75% free throw rating. He was already offered a scholarship from Jared Calhoun when they met at UC earlier this week. I mean, I got to give him credit. I mean, to see Coach Calhoun just coming in here and being like, you know what, put the program in my hand and I'll get this taken care of. Um, yeah, I can't. You can't ask for. You can't be happier. So again, these are just, obviously Mercer is committed to UC, but we've sent out offers to these other prospects, and with them now having a 5-star recruit coming in, showing that there is a desire to be at UC, I really like our odds of getting these other guys in the building to go along with them. During Calhoun's presser, he talked about how that at Utah State, where he spent his last 2 years, they went to the NCAA tournament twice. They did get wins in the tournament. Won the regular season title and the conference title. And they had Arizona down to the last 4 minutes this past season. And that was with a $2.4 million roster. Remember, that's a smaller school. I think it's the Mountain West out there. So $2.4 million at that time. And UC, being a bigger school, can probably do more than that. So just imagine with all that he was able to build in terms of 2 years. In 2 years, he took that program to their first conference title and tournament title. So, sorry about that. I had to fix something. But the guy wins, and the guy loves basketball. And what may not know is he actually got his start at the University of Cincinnati as a coach. He's the 29th head coach in UC history. He graduated from UC in 2004. Now, where this starts to tie in even more, especially to Hall of Fame caliber, he was a student assistant under Bob Huggins from 03 to 04. I don't know if you remember. Excuse me. I don't know if you remember. We don't know the student assistants and the graduate assistant coaches as well as we should. That's one thing I don't like about college basketball enough. They show the coaching staff, but they don't really go into the student assistants. So he was under Bob Huggins from 03 to 04. He becomes the assistant coach at Walsh University. And from 2004 to 2007, they were 18-21. They won the NIAI national championship in 05. They were in the Elite Eight in 06 and Sweet 16 in 07. So learning under Huggins for his first 2 years, just as a student assistant, getting to see how things work. And he's a Hall of Fame coach, one of the greatest of all time. And I would hazard to say the best coach UC history, 100%. I love Huggy Bear. Off the court stuff aside, he's always been great to me when I've met him. Gentleman, love him to death. Couldn't ask for a better guy to learn under. Well, Bob Huggins, after he leaves Cincinnati and ends up at West Virginia, brings Calhoun back to coach on his staff. Calhoun was there from 2007 to 2012. He was the director of operations for 4 years and spent his final year as the assistant coach. And remember, this was prime Big East years. West Virginia was really hot during this time. They went 120-36. They had that Final Four in 2010. 2008, they were in the Sweet 16, and they went to the NCAA tournament all 5 times. Miller never went once during his tenure. After his time, he decides, you know what, I'm ready to be a head coach. Started coaching out at Fairmont State as a head coach, Division II school from 2012 to 2017, where he goes 124-38 record. Blew it out of the water. Won 20 games all five years of his coaching there. And remember, 20 wins is a sustainable number for most college schools when it comes to basketball. You really want to be 20-10 or better. I think is a sign of a solid season. Getting an at-large bid in the NCAA if you don't win the conference or anything. So very, very, very good to see there. He was also the coach of the year in the Mountain East in 2017. And then he goes to Youngstown State as the head coach. So again, taking that next step up. 7 years there, won their first Horizon League regular season title in 2023, where they also tied the school record for most wins in a season with 24. This time at Youngstown State is what gets him to Utah State, which is where a lot of us personally, UC fans, would recognize him from because that's kind of where his recent history has been in the main spotlight. He was 55-15 during his time at Utah State with a 30-10 conference, 2 NCAA appearances, and obviously they won the regular season and conference tournament in 2026. Not only can that, but he can coach. He's doing this with, let's be honest, 3-star guys, 2-star guys. They're not really taking big recruits into the Youngstown State or Utah State. So obviously he has the ability to recruit talent, especially under recruited talent. and coach them up. They were 26th. Utah State was 26th in the nation in adjusted offensive efficiency. And they went from the 150th ranked team in defense in 2024 and 2025 all the way up to 44th in the nation for 25 to 26. So this past season, he got Utah State to 44th in the nation in terms of defense. They were top 30 in turnover margin, field goal percentage, assists per game, assist turnover ratio, scoring margin, steals, and they led the conference in all of those, including fast break points and scoring offense. So he's got 9 21 seasons, multiple conference championships in 3 different leagues, and a lifetime coaching record of 297 and 159. So the man has had success everywhere he's went. Now, coaches at this level all have success. They wouldn't be there. They wouldn't keep climbing. So you can be like, well, every coach has success. That's how they get to these schools. Yes, but he is a sustained winner at schools where talent is not necessarily always going to go. And by talent, I mean 4- and 5-star recruits that he is currently targeting. So if you can get even better players in the building, we've got a 5-star recruit coming in who, having seen a little bit of his tape, I think he could be on the level of possibly, like a Sean Kilpatrick, Lance Stevenson. I won't go Kenyon Martin because he's in a league of his own. I won't do it. Kenyon Martin is the GOAT. I firmly believe that. I mean, yeah, everyone's like, well, there was Oscar, but Oscar's neither here nor there in a different time. Kenyon Martin for sure. I'm excited to see what he's going to do with this team, especially this season, because remember, he didn't really get in time to work the transfer portal a whole lot. And obviously he brought guys with him from Utah State and everything, and he did use the transfer portal right off the bat in January. But now we're getting a little bit later into it. It's hard to recruit, I should say, for this time, for this season. So we're going to work the transfer portal here, and he is hammering hard on the recruiting class for 27, getting guys like Mercer and these other guys in the building. So the man will be leading us into battle this year in the Big 12, which is a major basketball conference. I'm excited. I want it to be time for that as well. And I am a football guy first and foremost, but UC basketball has always had a special place in my heart. I've had friends, close friends that played for them over the years, got to see a lot of games. I was blessed to do that. I can promise you this, Fifth Third Arena this year will be an absolute sellout crowd every game. I hope it is. You guys need to be there. We all need to be there and cheer for him. It's going to be really exciting. Now, obviously, I was going to talk football first, but when that came out, we just kind of said, obviously I'm filming it, it's my show, so kind of got things a little bit turned around there. But they did have a couple verbals come out, verbal commitments for UC for 2027. Chad Willis, a 3-star recruit coming in as a freshman. He's a wide receiver. Had offers from Duke, Kansas, and Indiana. He turned those down to come to UC. Should be good. They did get their first QB for the class of 2027 in Camden Hughes out of the Woodlands, Texas. He's about 6'1", 6'2". Again, not a lot of tall quarterbacks out there, and I find that interesting. I haven't seen many guys over the 6'4" mark. Now, some of you may be saying, well, not everyone's 6'4", 6'5". True. Most quarterbacks are at least 6'3", so they're still young. They could still grow. They could still be growing. We'll give them time on that. Ryan Massey Cable is a 6'5", 300-pound interior O lineman. He's a 3-star coming out of Taylor High School, which is from North Bend, Ohio. Again, an in-state recruit. Jalen Webb, another interior lineman, 6'3", 315, 3 stars from Central Catholic High School, which is up in Toledo. We have John Amofa Jr., a D lineman out of Atlanta, coming in as well, giving his verbal. And Xavion Smith, an offensive tackle, 6'5", 260, 3-star out of Warren G. Harding High School from Warren, Ohio. Again, these are all verbals that they're giving to staff. They haven't signed anything, but hopefully, fingers crossed, they keep those verbals and, obviously come to the team. So a lot of action right now. A lot of guys looking at UC. A lot of people coming in hot, wanting to be here. I'm hoping that it continues that way. Obviously, we got to keep recruiting. Satterfield's got to get on the horse. I don't necessarily know if the transfer portal is going to do it for long-term success of, the program, which is kind of going to parlay us into my buy or sell segment to close out the week. We did our week of buy and sell. This was given to me by one of my regulars at the poker club that I deal at for work. And it was that were the early 20s sustainable for a UC football program for how they started in 2020, 2021, 2022? The question was, is that success sustainable for UC as a football program, or was it simply a peak and then come back down? So, unfortunately, they can't. It's not really a buy or sell kind of moment there. It's more of a question. So, I'm going to say this. Let's say hypothetically that it was worded as UC peaked in 2020 to 2022, and that was a peak. That was not a sustained, success. And I'm going to sell that for now. I reserve the right to change this. There is a chance Satterfield could get something done. Him and his coaches, obviously they got a new D coordinator. There's a lot of changes that came in. There's still a chance we can get back to being in the national championship conversation. But to do that, they got to get better in the Big 12, and they've got to get better in November. So for now, I'm selling it. UC can get back to those levels of success that they had under Luke Fickell. But that is strictly on Satterfield, and that could change within a year. So we'll take that as is for now and go from there. And I believe I had one more, but all the stuff going on with all my notes and everything with the carousel of just, recruits and stuff today really got it switched up. But the only other thing that I have for our buy and sell segment today is that the QB carousel is causing the downfall of UC. I'm selling this as well. Rare we have two sells in a day. I'm usually pretty on board with some of these, but yes, we do have an issue of the quarterback carousel, but that I don't think it's as bad as people think. Remember, we had sustained QB play with Desmond, and then there was the changeover with Fickell. Desmond graduated, and then they got Sorsby in the building. It's not going to be the downfall, but it definitely is a hindrance when you don't have a mainstay quarterback for multiple years. I do think that is the case. I don't think it's the only reason that UC struggled. I truly believe that it's been the coaching more than anything. Good part is that can be fixed. We could get lucky and they fire Satterfield. I don't think we're that lucky, but boy, would it not be great. But I tell you what, there's a lot to be excited about as UC fans. I hope for the students, you're enjoying your summer. Hopefully finals weren't too bad on you, but there's a lot to be excited for when we come back this fall in terms not just of schooling, but football, basketball, baseball's cooking. And I know we wanted updates on the game last night. I'm going to hold on and cover all the weekend baseball, the Big 12 tournament, Monday. So Monday we will come back and discuss all the baseball news going on. But with everything going on today, the new announcement of the recruiting and the commitments really changed things up on the show for today. So I appreciate you all joining me today. Hope you enjoy your weekend, and I will see you next time.